Welcome to another episode on Team NOC.
Since Mental Health Awareness Day is around the corner, we are going to be sharing a little bit about ourselves.
As you know, some of us have faced mental conditions and are under different kinds of stress. So today,
We are going to share what kind of fears and challenges that we face and how we overcome these difficulties.
Before we begin, hit the subscribe button below and let's go!
What would you say has been your biggest source of worry or stress in life?
I have been diagnosed with MDD when I was 21, and that stands for Major Depressive Disorder. I guess a majority of my worry and stress comes from not falling back to the state that I was in previously. Because when I was first diagnosed with MDD, it was a really dark period for me. Yeah, because I don't have much memory of the period, but all I know it was that I lost a lot of friends.
I think it's the responsibility that I put on myself and the expectations that I put on myself to want to always do better and want to be able to one day can let my parents retire and not worry about me, and also for me to be able to take care of them if anything happens in future.
wow, you all start straight away. So deep, huh? One of the biggest sources of worry and stress is primarily for people around me. Yeah, I think that this year, as a company, as friends, we've been through a lot. So I'm also a leader in my church, and there's a bunch of people that I'm sort of looking out for, and so I genuinely worry for a lot of other people on top of getting my work done.
So, as you all know, I disappeared from the media scene for quite some time. It's because I had depression, and the cause of it is probably from work stress and family worries that I have on me.
Tell me more about the kinds of worries that you face because of this.
The things I remember when I was going through the lowest point in my life really included a lot of seclusion from the world, like hiding by myself in my room. It got to the point where I was actually suicidal, and then every single day I really felt like today I really want to go. And I spent a lot of time combating these thoughts in my head.
Actually, because I have anxiety, right? So usually at night when I have a very, very long day, or when I have anxiety that acts up, this is how it happens. So whenever I go to sleep, everything on that day or maybe some other day, it will just loop in my head. And I also always feel like I am not on par with my parents' capability, because they do a small business. So I will always compare myself. I will always hope that I can earn enough or maybe more than them, so I can give them money more. I always feel like I will compare myself with all this. I don't really compare myself with other people, but I will always give very, I would say unrealistic expectations towards myself. So yeah.
I think this year was particularly challenging because I saw my position as the middle person a lot. I felt like I was constantly in between a lot of unpleasant situations or difficult social situations that I needed to be in. There were times where I would be in between shoots or going for a meeting, and I would just burst into tears in the car, and I didn't expect it. I guess I just didn't even have time to process those emotions, so I bottled it up and it all came out. Yeah.
First thing when you wake up is everything is okay, you can be normal, you can laugh. But when it comes to the night time, I tell you, it's terrible. It's not as easy as you can't sleep, but a lot of nonsensical thoughts will linger in your mind, and it makes you just want to go crazy.
And so how did you end up coping with all of this on your own?
This is a really bad method. Whenever I was going to get super depressed and suicidal, right, my body will start to black out, collapse on itself, and then I would find that I would have panic attacks at home. My anxiety takes over, and I find myself self-harming in a way, but I feel it's because there's so much going on inside that my body doesn't know how to process it, and it tries to bring the pain outwards, you know what I mean? Yeah, which I guess that's the start of the worrying points because it slowly became from once a few months, and then it became once a week, and eventually every single day I had to do this to cope with all the feelings I felt inside. Yeah, so after self-harming every single day, I think the bruises start to show up on your body, and that's when the people around me knew that it was a worrying point.
Because I have this, I don't know whether or not you will say like an illness or like a sickness or what. But with fibromyalgia, sometimes when it acts up, you get like anxiety or like depression. But the last time I was diagnosed, the anxiety was high, but depression is no more. That's why I freelance for so many years is because I know that whenever I need a break, right, I really need a break. All this always takes a toll on me because I feel like because of all this, I'm just like not normal, or like I don't have that strength like everybody else to like be normal.
Okay, so I've never shared this publicly before, but I actually studied psychology growing up, right? And so I do see so much value in taking care of my mental health. And because of that, I've actually been seeing a counselor for the last 2 years. I always just needed a safe space and a safe outlet, right, where I could share and process like very difficult things in my life. And every time I go for a counseling session, right, I always leave a better person. It's very beneficial for me to take care of my mental health.
Basically, I took a few months off from work and from everything, basically everything. I just spent like a good 3 to 4 months at home with my family, doing what I like my hobbies, bring my kid for walks and all that, in which I was unable to when I was at work. So all this made me feel a lot better.
Who are you closest to in your family?
I would say my mom is the closest person to me in my family, yeah.
My mom, sometimes like moms and dads, they don't really understand like mental illness, even though my mom have gone through it, but she still feel like sometimes it's just me overthinking. So I will share with like my cousin who I grew up with because she's like around the same age as me.
So I'm definitely closest to my mom. I remember there was this particular night where, now I'm gonna cry. I remember there was this particular night where I was so overwhelmed at work and the situations that we were dealing with, right? And I was just so tired, and like when I came home and I saw my mom, right, I just felt so relieved. Yeah, I felt so relieved because I remembered like that I have a place of like love and support, and I have a place of comfort. Yeah, so I'm definitely closest to my mom.
Closest would be almost everybody in the family. Because back then it's like, I just don't talk to any of the family members. As I grew older, then, it's like easier to open up to them. Hey bro, you want this or not? Hey bro, you want to do that or not? Hey, 这个, 那个. So it became easier when I grew older.
And so what is your relationship like from when you were growing up?
I can say that we have faced like lots of like turbulent times in our life. She's been through 2 marriages, with my father and eventually with a stepfather, and it didn't go too well as well. During those periods, I wasn't as close with my mom as I wish. I was going through a lot in school. I was going through bullying. I've been bullied for the way I look, bullied for the way I act. And then at the same time, I was struggling with internal relationships in my family. So it really felt like I had no one at that time. Ever since my mom has single-handedly taken care of our family, right, we started getting closer. Yeah.
Because we grew up together, so she used to stay at my house when we were younger, and usually she knows when there's something that is happening and she'll just ask me out for a drink, then we will like just talk like 谈心事.
I would say growing up, right, we actually have a very turbulent relationship, like a lot of fights. I was very rebellious. She was working out a lot of issues on her own. But towards like the 20s, I think like we both changed a lot, and that's where our relationship really strengthened.
Bad because she's just so fierce. The moment she comes in, she'll be like, so where's that? Where's that one? Why you never do that? Why never do that one? So it's like just bad. But personal, different. The different side of her come up like, she talk to you nicely. Hey, my house got cooked this one. Hey, my maid cooked this one very nice. You want to come and eat or not? A very big change. So it's good and bad. Balance thing out.
So speaking of being close, your mom's actually here, like right now.
No. Wait, okay, wait, what? Wait. Oh my God!
I overhear everything.
And she looks like $1 million, when you tell her to do that. Hi, Mom! So good to see you.
You told me this one is an alone shoot.
Hi, do I just stand here?
So, Sylvia, what has Seekin told you so far about his depression, his worries so far?
Actually, I think his depression came as a shock to me because I think, like he said, at work, I'm a very work person, and he has. After work, then he just go back Malaysia, right? So we never really talked. But then I think one day we were in a company van. It just so happened that he drove me to a shoot, and then I think after the shoot, he suddenly told me, Zed, I think I have depression. Well, I was shocked. I was very shocked, but I thought, wow, it must have taken him a lot to show that side of him that I don't think any of my family members have seen each other cry, right? So that was the first time, and I was shocked, but I was happy that, wow, he actually shared something like this. Yeah.
I didn't know until one day. One day he approached me, and then at that time, then I decided, I think he needs help, which is why I approached, I think a society first, right? So after that, we went for counseling, and the counselor asked me to bring him to a professional psychiatrist. So brought him to polyclinic in order to get the subsidy. Then they brought us to Kutiput. From there, we went to IMH. At that time, they wanted to warded you, right? And he cried. He didn't want to go to be warded. And he told me, Mom, if you leave me there, I will die. So I decided not to ward him. But I registered him for psychiatrist counseling. Yeah.
Usually she will just say that like she's very stressed. Then she will suddenly like fall sick, like suddenly headache, all this. I feel it's part of the anxiety as well.
They always complain like, it's abnormal when you are normal.
So the worries he would talk to me about are mostly his church works and the church mate. And if the workload is too much for him, too heavy for him, he will stress out, he will tend to worry, and at times he tell me he couldn't sleep. So he don't really talk to me much about his worries, only those very like severe ones, yeah.
How did you feel knowing that he was going through all of this?
So yeah, I felt a bit offended that
What do you mean offended?
no lah, like we done so much for mental health, and you know I'm like the mental health advocate in public, and then in private, my brother took so long to actually open up, which also shocked me. Like I can say, you know, to you guys, you know, open up to your family members and everything, but then I realized in reality it's quite hard. And I say, Lord, the last feeling I feel was I'm actually touched. To be honest, I think a lot of people don't dare to open up to your family members, and also we're not close. So I was very touched because I think because of depression, we got a bit closer. And I think today I invited him to come to Mooncake Festival.
Play lantern.
Right, which is something that I never invite you to do because you have your own life and you are gross, and I have my own life and I'm great.
Very sad. Suiciding doesn't solve any problem. It might solve for him because he'll be gone, but he will leave the problem to the people who are still around. So I told him, no matter what, I still love him.
I will call her come out to relieve a bit, that kind. Maybe can spoke to me more, like talk to me more about it so she can relieve her stress as well.
Well, of course, as a mom, it will affect me a little when, you know, when your son come to you and share with you about his stress, his workload, and to the extent that he cannot sleep. Of course, I will also feel worried for him. And
But you also sleep and you also shock.
Are there any things that the other person has done to make you feel supported?
This one is quite interesting because if you guys don't know, I have depression maybe like 10 over years ago, and that time, right? And that time was not a awareness kind of thing, right? From what I know, my family probably had a lot of difficulty when I had depression. But I think because they dealt with a difficult me, it was easier for me to deal with him. So I think it was really just reminding my parents, hey, remember the time what you did for me? I think you just have to do that for him, just be there for him. And then, you know, don't stress him out, can already.
It's really hard for us to open up to each other about this kind of like emotions. I mean, I know that my mom is now more open as compared to the past. Yeah, which I feel like is the only thing I could ever ask for lah, like at this point in my life right now. Because knowing that she's there for me to talk to her if I really ever go through something right now, I think that support is all I need right now.
She will just like text me. She knows that when I'm feeling down that time, she will always be there for me also. She will randomly just text me. Although I find sometimes it's irritating, right? But end of the day, right, all the texts, right, it still feels like someone is there for me.
So my mom always says this line, when do I say no to you? Every time I ask her for help, whether it's to take a photo or be in the photo or to cook something, right, she always says yes. So I feel like without maybe knowing, she really has shown me that she's supporting me. And also she always tells me like, I'm praying for you, and she will encourage me. And I really appreciate that, yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for sharing. Okay, so I've passed you guys a Beyond the Label pin.
Yes.
So what you're gonna do for me is pin it on each other.
Okay, pin on my shoulder, the Beyond the Label pin.
Wait, I put for you.
Oh my god.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, like it's not the first time she put things in my clothes, you know?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, now she wants to know if she can keep this.
Okay, 拼到这边 Not bad, it's magnetic. Okay, 你可以这样去做风啊。
I'm sweating at mommy because I'm like really shocked that you turned up. And all my secrets are exposed.
Wrong ah? Then how?
Mommy, you paint the whole thing. You must take out this thing lah.
Oh, is it? What take out ah?
Just this. You see how I do
no
for
need
you?
this one ah?
Yeah, I don't need this one.
You never tell me.
Okay, mommy, do you know what this pin means?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no. So basically, right, there are a lot of people who are living with mental health conditions,
Yeah.
and there are bad labels attached to these conditions.
Yes.
So what we want to do is to encourage everybody out there, you know, that it's okay to share with somebody, it's okay to confide, it's okay to have that safe space to process and to find your support system. You know what I mean? So we are looking beyond those bad labels.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because both of us are wearing this, right, it means we are mental health ambassadors.
Oh,
Do you know you are a mental health ambassador?
so good. Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You have good mental health?
Yes.
So now you're gonna write down one thing that y'all wish you could do for each other in the future.
3, 2, 1, go.
Spend more time and help her out when she's facing problems.
So my one says, join more family activities.
Okay, so what I wrote is that we should see each other more and spend time talking, like just quality time, because we haven't really had like a nice family dinner for very long.
I will try to be there more like a friend than a family.
Then for me, I will try to be more patient with her.
Okay, so I wrote fruitfulness and purpose because Ross is in her retirement days already. So I wish her not just like, you know, to be aimless or bored, but to have fruitfulness in her life and purpose.
Mine, the most important one is I want him to be healthy all the time. I want to see him joyful, always happy.
What's the last one?
Get married.
Wow, everyone,
Get
everyone
married.
including you.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I pray God, I always pray to God to send him a wife.
Thank you for watching our story.
I hope that through this video you guys see the importance of being there for one another, especially for your loved ones and your close friends even. Yeah, so I want to thank my mom for coming here out of the blue, literally out of the blue.
Also, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. And as always, click here for more and
Click here to subscribe.
NOC Girl.